So Barry, I know that you've written a free report which is available in the Resource Center at fightingforwhat'sright.com called Built to Fail. It's about the nursing home industry. It's a really provocative title. I read it and you make a good case for why that is true, but why do you think that is the case?
Well, nursing homes are one of the few really explicitly for-profit sectors within the healthcare industry. Some of them are even publicly traded companies that you'll find on the New York Stock Exchange and other places like that. It's a little different from doctors or hospitals, for example. I mean, your doctor, after he pays himself a nice salary and pays for his staff and his malpractice insurance, he'd like to make a profit when it's all said and done. But what really motivates him and why he went to medical school is because he wants to take care of people. Hospitals, they are some of them are making money hand over fist, but the people who are really controlling what's being done there, who are kind of driving the bus, so to speak, are the doctors. So those are places that are really built for providing quality care. Nursing homes are really built and designed to return a profit to the people who own them. The very first nursing home case that I worked on involved a gentleman who committed suicide in a nursing home. Mm-hmm. And I thought if I took the deposition of the administrator at the nursing home, the guy who was in charge of the nursing home, I would get some good answers for what was happening with regarding the care that this gentleman was being provided. Instead, I found out that his job as the administrator was his first job in the healthcare industry.
What?
And before that, he had sold flooring and tile. And how he got into the nursing home industry is that he had a neighbor who owned a nursing home, and the neighbor suggested that getting a nursing home administrator's license would be a good way to get into the industry and essentially make some money. The people who are making the decisions in the nursing home industry are businessmen. These aren't the people who are really kind of driven on a personal level by providing quality care.
Are all nursing homes for profit?
No, not all nursing homes are for profit. And statistically, you'll find that the problems that you see in for-profit nursing homes are not nearly as bad or as pronounced in not-for-profit nursing homes. The problem is that all nursing homes tend to be operated in the same kind of way. So the bottom line is that those same kind of problems that you see in for-profit nursing homes aren't quite as bad in not-for-profit nursing homes. It's not to say that not-for-profits are perfect or that all for-profit nursing homes are badly run. It's just that on a statistical level, you tend to see more problems more frequently in the for-profit facilities versus the not-for-profit facilities.
How does the for-profit business model impact the care that residents get?
So figuring out profit is a pretty simple question at heart. You take the revenue, you subtract the expenses, and that gets you your profit. In the nursing home industry, where you see resident care impacted is on both sides, on the revenue side and on the expense side.
How does this happen on the revenue side?
Nursing homes get paid on a per resident per day basis from whoever it is they're being paid by. Whether it's public aid, private insurance, Medicare, private pay, they get so much revenue each day that the resident is in there. And it's going to vary depending on who the payer is, okay? But past that per day payment, there's only a very limited opportunity for nursing homes to increase their revenue above and beyond that payment. So there is a real incentive in the nursing home industry to fill as many beds as they possibly can. When you get into a nursing home case and you start getting the records, the internal records from the nursing home about its operations, one of the things you'll find is that the people who are on the management side are really intensely interested in the question of census. In other words, how many of their beds are actually being filled. Okay. So past that, the rate that they get paid per resident per day actually increases as they get residents with what's called a higher acuity level. And in a very simple way, a higher acuity level is a resident who is sicker and needs more care. So if a nursing home is going to maximize its revenue, they need to fill as many beds as they possibly can with as many truly sick people as they possibly can. So what happens is it creates a lot of strain and stress on the staff because they end up with a facility that's filled with residents who need a relatively high level of care if revenue is being maximized.
So if they're really bringing in as many really sick patients as they can on the revenue side, how does this affect the expense side?
So if you want to increase your profit margins, the thing that you want to do is cut your expenses down as much as you can. And the single biggest line item for expenses in a nursing home is the staff. So they want to try and keep the staffing levels minimized at the same time they're bringing in as many really sick people as they can. Now, to some extent, the ability of management in a nursing home to really cut the staffing levels down to the bone is constrained by regulations. The Illinois Department of Public Health is the state agency that regulates nursing homes, and there are specific regulations that set forth a formula as to how many nurses, how many CNAs have to be on staff at a nursing home at any given time. On the other hand, there are also federal regulations that govern the level of staffing, and essentially what these provide for is that the nursing home has to have enough people on hand to meet the care needs of the residents on a 24/7 basis. So it's a flexible standard. There isn't a formula like there is for the state, but it's actually more demanding. So if the nursing home is actually meeting what's required by the federal regulations, you should have enough people on hand to take care of all of the residents day to day, shift to shift.
So what is the net consequence of all this?
So if they're trying to maximize profits, they're bringing in as many sick people as they possibly can and caring for them with as few staff as possible. When you fill a nursing home with as many sick people as you can get in the door, and you try to care for them with staffing numbers that really aren't adequate, you really see two main results. The first is that the care that is really needed isn't being delivered day to day, shift to shift, both on the nursing level, with the nurses not having the time or ability to give critical thought to what residents really need because they're so busy checking charts and passing meds and so forth. And on the CNA level, where CNAs just simply don't have enough time to turn and reposition people, to help people on and off the toilet, all of those kinds of things, it just creates all sorts of opportunities for things to go wrong. The other place that you see that is that you have high staff turnover. This is a really tough, demanding job. Nurses are on average paid considerably less than their professional peers are elsewhere, and CNAs are doing some really tough work for relatively low wages. A lot of them are getting paid $10, $12, $13 an hour for doing a lot of lifting, cleaning people who have been incontinent, feeding people. It's a tough job, and they're simply kind of ground down by the demands of the work that have to be done day to day. One of the surprising things about nursing homes is that they're really only required to make progress notes only every 30 days. So a lot of what happens is essentially muscle memory, is what I refer to it as. It's institutional memory. It's knowing who your residents are. And when you have a lot of turnover, that muscle memory gets lost. So if you have a resident who's otherwise up and alert, and you have somebody new come in, and that the resident is slumped over and has shallow breathing, they may not recognize that something is new and something is new is going on with that resident, and may miss an opportunity to let a doctor know that there's a problem with one of their patients. This loss of institutional memory results in things not being caught that need to be caught in order to prevent some kind of disaster from happening. You can go months and months without anything really disastrous happening, and it's really just a matter of dodging bullets as opposed to providing quality care. Relying on good luck isn't a strategy for caring for people properly. In the world at large, most accidents are a flash moment in time. You're driving your car and you're tuning the radio, and the next you've smashed into the back of someone. A lot of what happens in nursing homes is weeks or months in the making, and they've just been getting lucky all along instead of providing good care.
You're watching Fighting for What's Right with attorney Barry Doyle. Feel free to subscribe to our channel and check out fightingforwhat'sright.com.